spiritual biblical principle will be with everything we have is a gift from God, and that we're called upon to share that gift.
It didn't take very long for us to see the impact of the economic downturn. There have been people in this congregation who have lost their jobs. There have been people who have been cut back on the length of time they work. For the last 25 and 30 years, the gap between rich and poor in this country has increased probably greater than any other country on the face of the earth. Who wants to live in a society where there's no middle class and there's only the very rich and the very poor? And for us, this is a moral and ethical issue.
Riverhead is really quite a rich mix, ethnically and economically. My congregation reflects some of that. We have senior folks and some younger families with young children. We're trying to protect health care and education especially, and other social services, and that those programs are at risk in the governor's proposed cuts. Well, I would be very concerned about understaffed and an understaffed hospital, underserved people, which is what will happen if we do healthcare cuts around here.
We never say to someone how much they should give, but we ask for the minimum amount to be 10%. Those that make more have a tendency of paying 5% because the amount that they're giving they feel is so great. In the tax code and looking at the fairness of it, if you're really making that much more, if you're receiving that much more, then why can't that go in to help those that are not receiving?
The idea that private organizations and churches and charitable organizations and food pantries and shelters are going to be able to bear the burden of this downturn is just crazy.
I would appeal to our leaders and those who are able to do a little more to see the importance and the value of assuming a fair share of the tax burden. How can you see a brother or sister in need and not help that person and claim that you love God? You can't have it both ways. You can't say you love God and not help.
In our last clergy meeting, we were just talking as pastors, and if there's anything that we really want to do is help get the word out and become that communication vehicle that is letting everyone know that you have to be involved yourself. And this is our opportunity through Fair Share to make a change.
Part of the history of our country and part of the strength of the country has been the fact that in times of crisis, everybody's been asked to pitch in. So this is a time when the burden needs to be shared equally.
I really believe that we are all part of one another. You know, we're a family, and the larger family of humanity, the family of God. We're connected to all of life, really.
Spiritual strength has to be backed up with actual help. And people also need to not lose faith in their government and in their state officials. And this is a time when we all need to pull together to help these people who are the most vulnerable.